Hello, Glenna. Hi, Lynn. Gretchen. Thought today I would talk about what's on my design wall and the free patterns that I'm using that you could join in on the fun too. Oh, I left my clipboard. Let me grab it. So, if you remember last week, I downloaded the Starling pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and I want to show you the front page. It's in black. I printed it in black and white, but I read those directions and I totally freaked out because you have to be very careful which way your angles are going to make this traditional looking block, which is called Circle of Swallows. But this is a 54-inch mini quilt, and after I had my freak out, I went on Fat Quarter Shop and they had a tutorial, a YouTube tutorial on how to make these. So I have half of the points made because you have to make them slanting, the birds slanting one way, which you can see here, and the triangle slanting. So the next go round is I will make the birds going the other way. But once I got going and I watched the video, it made so much more sense. So I'm going to tell you, Fat Quarter Shop has all the support. If you want to do the Starling quilt, watch Jolly Jabber is another name of her YouTube channel. And this is a great quilt. And you can tell I'm using up, these are scraps that are probably Fat Quarter size. And I had some white left over, that was a yard, and the blue, let me look on here, is about 1.7 yards. So really didn't take a lot of fabric, and it's going to have a lot of open spaces for free motion quilting, a lot of fun that you can have there. So have you ever had a pattern where you read it and you went, mind blown, I can't do this? And I realized I had to take it step by step, read each part very, very carefully, watch the angles. The pictures are great in this pattern, and I would say it's a free pattern for now. You can buy a kit from them, but the pattern's free. It's a great way to use up scraps. And then I have 4 of the points already, and then I'm gonna do the mirror images. The other thing that I found over this last week is a website called wildolive.blogspot.com. She's a crafter, and she does all kinds of free things, free printables. She has a free embroidery a month. They're doing jam jars, and I did download that. But the fun thing I found is that she does hexagon templates. And I've always wanted to try hexagons, but I was afraid to do them, and I don't know what to do with all of the tiny pieces of fabric I get. So I want to show you, her little downloads are so adorable. There are these cute little smiley faces, and then what I did is I've been saving those junk mail postcards and gluing the cute little hexagon. These are 1-inch hexagons, and I've never hand sewed them before. So I glued them, got a bunch ready, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? I have all kinds of cherry wood and lots of solids, so I decided to go ahead and do a temperature quilt. And that's based on the high temperature of every day. Michigan has some pretty wide temperature colors, would be great in that because we got lots of different weather. So while I was looking on the internet for somebody who had already come up with a temperature chart, I happened to find one by Elm Street Quilts. We'll talk more about Elm Street Quilts. So this was kind of a coincidence that I found it. However, lots of 90-degree days where she lives. We needed more -0 Fahrenheit. So I added gray is going to be 0 to 5, and below 0 is going to be white. And then it really goes about 5 degrees. And You can download her color chart and you can see where I added more cold temperatures because we've already had a January where we had started out at 30. We went to 40. That was the highest. We've had a couple below 0 days already and as the high. And I expect next week to have probably lots of whites and grays and more of these blues. Well, I had some scraps left over from my Cherry Wood Van Gogh Challenge pack, and I did a hexagon on the cardboard. This is my little tiny betweens needle. That's what I use. Anybody who's an experienced English paper piecer, what kind of needles do you use? And I've got bottom line thread that I've been using, but I thought, oh, I was going to get an opinion. Anybody using a different type of needle? So how did I put them on the little face? Well, I've been following lots of English paper piecers out there, the people who do the glue basting. So I glue basted it. I sent my husband to the store because he went to the store, and I said, when you go, would you buy some washable glue stick? And he did. Now that's true love after 32 years of marriage. So I bought this kind. It says washable school glue, and it should come right out when you wash the quilt. So isn't that cute? The little smiley faces are looking at you saying, you can do this. You can do it. So I got a couple together and I put it on my design wall here. But the question is, what kind of stitch to use? So I've been practicing. Now look at how hideous this is. So I got a ways to go. But this is called a flat back stitch. So I'm starting around the flower part of the hexagon, and then I'm going to come back at the end and do the petals. You can tell already I've got a lot of blue because it's been cold, and some people use a piece of tape to hold the parts together, but I have a Clover Wonder Clip that if I need it I'll put on there. And I find these things, I don't like using pins, and with that cardboard you can't really pin it anyway. But the Wonder Clip seems to do a nice job because you stitch at the flat back, you do a little bite on this side and you come across, a little bite, and then you bring it back around. Where the whip stitch, it looks like you bend the pieces together and go on the side. But I needed it to hide my stitches more. So anyway, if you have any tips on English paper piecing, or if there is a person that you follow that can help me as I learn, Mr. Domestic had a couple of videos too. So anyway, free little templates. You can get these with the cute little smiley faces that I need, all the cuteness and adorable things in my life. And really, this is a fun thing to do in the evening. But I needed a little structure to my day, so that's why I thought the temperature quilt would be fun. And you can tell already we've had a couple of days at the beginning of the month that are the same color. And I'm okay with that. It's a record of actual temperature. Now, where did I go to find the daily highs? I went to National Weather Service. They actually list all of the high temperatures for the day, as well as snowfall and all kinds of fun weather, nerdy, geeky things that I totally love. So what was so funny about this Elm Street Quilts is she's co-hosting a free hand-pieced quilt-along, and you can see that block is over here on my design wall. And I went, Elm Street Quilts, is that the same person? Yes, it is. The hand-pieced quilt-along is Patty and Kristen, and Patty is of Elm Street Quilts, and I'm like, what a coincidence. Can't believe that she made a temperature quilt last year with hexagons, and she has some good information on elmstreetquilts.com. But if you want to do a little 6.5-inch block, they're doing prizes, and there's free patterns, free tutorials, all kinds of free stuff. And I thought, oh, this is too cute, 6.5 inches. But This is why I fear, look at how once in a while my seams, you know, you can see the stitches here at these intersections, and I'm always afraid that these things are going to come apart. So, anybody have any hand piecing tips besides practice more? And I'm going to keep practicing and going along with the whole thing. So I thought, what a coincidence that she's doing this and she did this. Like great minds think alike. But one thing I noticed is my hand piecing, the black is a little wonky on this side. So I'm going to try to repress the back, and I'm going to try to spin these seams open so there isn't all of this bulk here, and press it so that you get like that little square in here. And there is a tutorial, and Kristen did a great job showing people how to spin those seams open with an iron. I'm not pressing the seams open, it's just spinning these around so that they're not creating 10 layers of bulk here. I'm going to try that and see if it helps. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it real damp, and I'm going to use my wool pressing mat. Do you have a wool pressing mat, anybody? Because they're amazing. But I also got a wool tailor's mat that's for long skinny seams. So I may use this to actually block it on the mat. And I have a big one of these that I'll probably put it on. But this long skinny one is great for long strips. But it's really nice because they're super thick and you can block things on there as well. So I'm going to try blocking this into a regular size square. But if you look real careful, the polka dots just emphasize the wonk along the one side. So the next thing I wanted to ask though is the wool mat stinks really bad. And I have tried spritzing a little bit of essential oil on it. It smells like wool. It smells like boiled wool. I've tried using spray starch that has a little bit of a scent. I've tried airing it out. I've tried everything. So I'm looking for another idea on what to do because it stinks so bad that it actually kind of makes me feel sick. So that's been the fun part of the week. The other win, let's go for wins of the week, because remember last week I told you I cut my little macrame thing from IKEA. I actually took time to sew this back together so I can use this. Now, I think I'm going to use this as a display to put my scarves for winter, and my mittens. I've lost them. And it's going to be below zero this week. So I thought it would be nice to hang this up somewhere and have my winter scarves, some of my dress scarves, and my mittens on here so I don't lose them. I've been trying really hard to do all of the tidying up and getting rid of stuff, and I did also get second drawer cleaned out in my cabinet. It's still a work in progress. This whole room is going to be my first room of getting it finished and organized. It's all a work in progress. And I'm finding that the renovation we had over the last month or so has been really hard and messes all throughout the house. And I know other people have lived with renovations and I've only done it once or twice. So I'm finding that I'm trying to go where I have control of the space. And this room has stuff in, like on the floor over here is my box of cleaning supplies and a box over here of things that didn't fit other places in the house. But every room downstairs is like that right now. There's boxes of stuff in places. So what I've been doing is trying to clean this space up first so I can get it organized and make better use of my Calyx systems from IKEA. So I went through my fabric today and threw out anything that was a scrap that was less than 3 or 4 inches and got rid of it. Yeah, I threw it away because I thought they're so tiny. I just don't want to deal with it. And it really freed up a lot of space in half of my storage unit. So I'm going to keep going through that, and I'm going to keep working on organizing it. But I found I'm going to close today with 2 things that have been lost. I have found, but I'm still missing my mittens. I'm still missing my black handled lightweight scissors. I'm still missing my original wedding bands. I've been missing for a couple years. I've been looking for them, and there's just a couple of other things that just I can't find them. I will. They're here in the house. I just can't find them. But I did find 2 things. Let me grab the one is in a little bin. In this bin is a cute little UFO from many years ago that I forgot about. Another one. Remember last week I found the tatted edges? I'm working on that. This is my tiny little Harry Potter bookmark that I knit in a tube from pearl cotton. And I'm like, well, I never finished it. Where's the fringe? I found the pearl cotton. And I even found a tiny bit of the Gryffindor red. Oops, I dropped it. But I just need the yellow and a little bit of that red for fringe. And I'm going to use this as a bookmark. Maybe put it in my planner to keep up to date. I make all these things that this took so long. You don't even know how many, look at how tiny these stitches are on double points. And I never finished it. That's sad because I lost it. And I found the thimble that I wanted. It's my favorite thimble, and I've dropped it on the floor, so I'm not going to pick it up. But it's a single band that fits my finger really well. I found it. And now I have little bins all in my drawer over here. And let's do a final, I think we can do a final reveal if I can figure out how to turn the camera around. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. So, you can see here is my starling. Let's look. Remember last week I showed you how wonderful it was to use these little bins. And I got so excited about it, I went to the dollar store and I took all the orphan blocks out of here and I organized things. Like I can find pens. Now Frixion pen, I'm missing one. Here's all my different things. And I got all of my fabric pens together. I can't believe it. This is amazing to me how much more storage you can get out of using these little dollar store bins. And I've got all of my things together, like my rotary blades. Hey, what's that pencil? Goes over here. So, loose different spools of thread. So anyway, that's my ending. I did it. So with all of this, I have found a couple of things, and I'm also still looking for a couple of things in my house. Oops, I'm caught on the iron. So, is there anybody else there willing to confess that they've lost some things too? Did you find them? I've also found the Harry Potter scarf. This is a UFO from, I can't tell you how long ago, very long ago, that I never finished. I'm frustrated with it because you can see the little changes, and I was like, it's so ugly, and I got so focused on it that I never finished the project. Well, I found all the stuff, and I'm finishing the project. So, I want to wish everybody a wonderful week. Stay warm. We're going to be in an Arctic blast for the next week, and it's going to be cold. It was very cold this weekend, and I'm hoping on my temperature quilt, when I get going with it, I'm adding more colors than these cold blue colors for the cold weather. So everybody have a great Saturday night, and I'll see you next week.